Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we're gonna see another use case, which is error handling. With this error handling, we will be sending an success mail and error mail to the users and for the support team. This is a basic overview of the SDD with the details which are need to be included in an SDD, so that you could get a better idea of the preparing of SDD. Every company has their own SDD forms, different type of formats they'll be using. It's one type of formal overview of the SDD. Okay, let's get started. First is the process overview, the bot name, which will be used across all documents. And to develop the bots, we'll use this bot name. This is the overview of the bot that it performs. Basic overview. We don't need to detailedly encrypt the steps. Second is the process details. Who is the user or the owner of this bot? Who is the expert of this process? You should name that person and the department which he works on. And another process description, which shows what are the steps to be performed. Next is the developer, who is the developer and which team he belongs to, and this manager name, project manager name, and fourth main important point is inputs, whether websites, credentials, or the database, which all we require to develop a bot, we should insert here the input where we getting the data is from. Source of input. Here we should describe the steps, each one by one, which are the steps that the bot performs. Opening a website, entering the username and password. If it fails, send an error mail, or else it success, send a success mail. This is the basic overview of this bot. I took a simple bot. Decision points exceptions. If any exceptions are required, we should mention here the business rules and validation, how the user validates the bot as successful or it got failed. We should get to know that with these rules and validations, what is the output that the bot generates. Here we have only one output, that is successfully logged in or it has failed to log in. This is the output here. And the process metrics and KPIs that need to be validated, integration points, security and compliances. If is there any credentials or any locker user restrictions, we should enter here. We have any constants like the bot fails for any uh, runner issues or with the code issues, we should mention here. Exceptions or assumptions which we have. This is the process diagram, visual representation of the bot structure. I have made a sample one. First is the start. We will fill the username. If the password is valid, we will send success mail. Or else, if the username and password is not valid, we will use another alternative username and password. If it gets success, we will send an success mail, or else we will send an error mail to the process owner and we'll stop the bot. This is the basic structure of the bot that we're creating right now. I hope you understood. Let's start with the bot. This is the bot code that I have developed. It's a basic bot. We just main objective is to send the error mails by linking the documents of the screenshots that we have taken from the bot. If the bot fails, those should be attached and we should send a mail. That is the main objective of this bot. So first we're gonna extract the task name from the system variable because it's a community edition. It uses whole folder. So we're gonna start after use case test folder. It's a folder. After that, we'll get the bot name, error handling. So we extract after giving characters. So it will extract an task name. We have assigned to the task name. We'll log to file. The bot has been triggered. We'll open the page. I have taken a sample page, which Wikipedia I have taken here. Open the page. Set the username. Set the password. Click on login. Once logged in, you will get a success or failure description here. If it is failure, we will use another username and password. Enter again different username, password, click on login. Once we are logged in, we will capture the screenshot because if it is fail or if it is got success, we will get an exception here. So we'll capture this so that we'll get to know that whether the username and credentials have successfully logged in or not. So we'll capture it here and we'll store it in a folder for us to use it later. Because we want this bot to fail, so we have already closed the browser and we try to capture this error message. So it will not be able to capture this error message. So it will log that the bot has failed. Enter the credentials. So now once the bot has failed, we need to capture the window where it has failed. So we'll capture this like the active window because we don't want to specify any windows. So whichever that act, because sometimes it may be runner issue, sometimes maybe it is a connectivity issue with the runner machine and the develop and the control room. So there may be a number of situations where the bot fails. So we'll capture the currently active window so that we'll get the at what place the bot has failed. We'll capture that. This is where the attachment of the documents are taking place. First, we need to loop through each file in folder, give the folder path, and assign it to a dictionary variable. This is the main part where we will assign the files from the dictionary variable name, and dot dictionary variable extension. This will attach the file name and with the extension to the attachments list. So we'll add that dictionary variable to the list variable. And we'll start because it will loop through all the files in folder. It will attach to the list variables, all the items. So once it's done, out of the loop, we should connect the session, giving the host name, port name, protocol, authentication, and credential username and password. Once it's done, now we will send if the error message not equals to null. That means there is some error message. So we will send an error mail with the docs name. This is where we'll attach the list variable. So we will once in the loop, it has extracted all the files and attached to the list variable. We don't need to give 0, 1, 2, 3 like multiple variables. So we can give single variable which gets attached with the with it may be a log file, screenshots, all the documents in the folder will be attached to a list variable, and list variable can be pasted here so that the errors files will be attached to the user to validate the errors. So we'll attach this. We'll have a message. Bot has failed to enter the credentials. The task time has been terminated. Email form, email server host, port requires authentication, true. If else, the error message is not occurred. There is no error. We should send an success mail. In this case, error message equals to null. So we will send same folders. If it is blank, it will throw nothing. So we have don't need to attach any documents. If you want to attach any log files, we can do that, or else you can send a mail saying that bot has been completed successfully. Same parameters we should here from host, port, authentication. We are using this finally. Here we have used try catch finally. So if you try these actions in these are error handling packages, which is available in the automation anyway, we'll try a few steps. It may fail, so we'll catch that in the catch block, and we'll send the error mails. Finally, is one if it is success or it fails, it doesn't matter. Finally, will be executed at most when the bot is ended by any abruption in the process. So the finally will be executed either ways if it's success or it fails. So browser, we should close the browser and disconnect from the email, and we'll get out of it. Now let us run the bot and try to attach the documents and send to the users. successfully. Let us check the mail. We received the mail with the attachments where it has failed. You can see the screenshots here and which line the bot has failed with the log details.